Hello, hello. It is about 8:50 right now. Finishing day 5 of my water only fast. Feeling really good. As far as today went, it went great. I got woken up at 8 o'clock to have my vitals done, which I will share with you. My weight was 119.0 and my blood pressure was 102/68. My pulse was 76 and my temperature was 97.3. I also took my blood sugar just with a little diabetic kit and it was 58, which you would normally consider low in somebody who's eating but has not been eating for 4 to 8 hours. You want their blood sugar to be somewhere between 60 and 100 is the range that they give you, and we really look for a healthy person to be around 80. But during a fast, you're no longer using glucose as your main source of energy, so it's fine for it to be down here like at 58. So now we're using ketones. I told you yesterday that my urine dipstick showed ketones, which I was happy about, and it was a +2 yesterday, and so today I redid them, and it was a +4 for ketones, which is great. So I'm moving closer and closer to using more and more ketones and less glucose, so that's great. What else did I do today? I laid out for about an hour, which was really, really nice. Like I mentioned, you get really cold when you're fasting, and I have to say that my one complaint has been that I've been really chilly, my feet especially, and it is pretty cold here in Santa Rosa right now. During the day, like during the afternoon, we get some sun, which is really nice, and everybody lays out. If you're gonna fast, you should try to get 10 to 15 minutes of sun a day at least, with at least half of your skin exposed so you can soak up some vitamin D. The other thing that I found a little uncomfortable last night, besides the feet, which made it a little difficult to sleep, so I got one of these, which would be your best friend, heating water bottle. Oh my god, amazing. Just put that in your bed at the foot of the bed. Oh, so good. That's how I got to sleep yesterday. The other thing that happened was I had all these crazy dreams about falling off cliffs. So I decided to have the staff take the elevation of my bed down because I don't think I need it anymore. Usually people only have an issue with acid reflux for the first couple days. So I'm past that now. So I had him put it down. So hopefully the falling off a cliff dreams will end. So on to the next order of business. My blood work. So I had blood work about 2 months ago before I came here. And I just wanted to get it done to have kind of a baseline because I was planning on coming here and I wanted to have baseline blood work done. So the only abnormals on my blood work last time it was done in August was my cholesterol. My cholesterol numbers were no good, and I have to say that cholesterol numbers on your blood work really reflect not that long of a period. So maybe the last 2-3 weeks max of your eating. So with saying that, I have to say before I had this blood work done, I'm a little embarrassed because I do eat well normally. I'd say I'm about a 7 if 10 is, the healthiest eating. I'm probably a 7. So I'm a little embarrassed, but I was very gluttonous the weekend before I had this done. So I will say that, just in my own defense. So my cholesterol was high. My total cholesterol was 237, and we like it to be below 200. My LDLs were 140, and this is your bad cholesterol, so we like those to be below 130. And then my HDLs, which are good cholesterol, were 73, which I'm happy about because that's pretty high. Normally, we just like to see people above 45 or 50. So being up in the 70s or 80s is really, really good because it's really more about the ratio of good cholesterol to bad cholesterol. In any case, my lipids were high, which is bad. So Now we can compare it to the blood work that I just had done, which was done on my third day of water fasting. So I'll say here that they included my glucose, which I just told you was 58 when I took it on my finger. But obviously, blood sending it to the lab is probably a little more accurate. And they're saying here that my blood glucose was 54, which is almost the same. And like I talked about, that's totally fine and normal for fasting. One thing that I did want to mention before I talk about how my cholesterol changed is my white blood cell count. So your white blood cell count normally is what you look for. It would be increased in someone who has an infection, a current infection going on, and you'd see their white blood cell count go way up. So they say that in vegans or non-meat eaters, even vegetarians, that it's normal to see a white blood cell count that's lower because people who eat meat are having a little more inflammation going on in their intestines, and also the nature of their intestines more acidic because you're having more meat products. Well, you're having meat products. And in vegans, they're not having this problem, so we see their white blood cell count come down, and the resting rate of white blood cell count is lower. So I thought it was really, really interesting, and something I wanted to share with you is that my white blood cell count in August was 6.6. And through eating the food here and having a plant-based diet, my white blood cell count has come down to 5.6, which is a pretty significant change because these numbers are for thousands. So this was really, 6.6 thousand. And so it's come down that much to 5.08 thousand. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about that's pertinent to fasting is your electrolytes. And this is going to be on your CMP, your complete metabolic panel, is sodium, potassium, and chloride. So sodium chloride, as we know, is salt, table salt, sodium chloride. And I haven't been having any sodium chloride when I've been here because we're not only plant-based, we're also SOS free, meaning salt, oil, sugar free. So I didn't actually expect my sodium to drop a little more, but your body hangs on to the amount you need. No matter whether you're always getting a small amount of sodium in your veggies and your other foods, so you don't really have to add it, and your body will hang on to the amount that it needs. So my sodium only dropped 1 point, and through fasting, I said I was already fasting 3 days here when I got this blood work done. My chlorides dropped a couple points, about 4 points. So, but that's normal. And usually when you see sodium drop, you see chloride drop because chloride follows sodium. So that's a normal thing. The last thing here with the electrolytes that was important to talk about in regards to fasting is potassium. So potassium is really important to make sure that your starting level of potassium is high enough, because if potassium dips below 3, then you need to break the fast, and it's something of concern. So my potassium was 3.9 in August, and the ratio is 3.5 to 5.2. And so it went down a teeny bit. Now my potassium is 3.6, which is still fine. You just want to make sure it's up in that ratio and gives you a little space to go down. So at 3.6, we wouldn't even start to worry until I get down around like 3.2, 3.1, which would take quite some time. So with a number like that, you're okay and you're good to fast for an extended period of time. So moving on to the really interesting stuff, my cholesterol. So my total cholesterol now, after having been eating this plant-based diet, drum roll please, total cholesterol is 186, and that's down from 237, which is big. My LDLs, the bad cholesterol, and this one is a winner right here, was 140 in August and is now 102. So I just want to take a moment to address that type of a drop in bad cholesterol. people with high cholesterol will be on high cholesterol, Crestor, whatever they're on, Lipitor, whatever. And honestly, it's lucky to see people drop 10 to 15 points in 3 months taking medication. I dropped almost a full 40 points just by eating a plant-based SOS-free diet for a month. That's pretty awesome. So my HDL cholesterol also dropped, but only by about 20 points. So it's now 55. So I'm okay with that because when your cholesterol drops, when one drops, the other will drop. You're just lowering your total cholesterol overall. So that's something, that's normal. And I'm really happy with that. I'm really, really happy with these labs. And I am excited to share with you my labs in the next couple days. I will have new lab work done on my 7th day of fasting because we have blood work done every week. And so I'll have it back on my 8th day video and then we'll talk about it. And when we talk about it, I'll talk about what is normal with almost every single point on the lab, what you can expect to see with lab work during a fast, which will include liver enzymes and all of that fun stuff. So I've got a lot of good information for you on that stuff. So hopefully you kind of stay tuned or check back in because it is pretty interesting stuff. So for now, I think I'm going to go cuddle up with my warm water bottle and try to get some Z's in. So that's it for today.